this month, and that's the United Nations' latest attempt to get a global game plan in place to lower carbon dioxide to address climate change. There have been several of these summits before, and they haven't really gone too well. And historically, the United States has kind of been the bad guy here. Historically, more emissions come from the United States than any other country. And you could view this as a way for President Obama to make a statement to other world leaders that this time around the United States is going to be very serious about coming out of these negotiations with a solution and a real game plan.
What are the significant policy issues right now?
Well, if the Keystone XL pipeline is kind of overblown and also not critically important to the big picture energy landscape in the United States, there's another policy that's started taking place that's kind of the opposite. It's very important, and it's probably going to shift the way that energy is produced in the U.S., but it doesn't get as much attention, and that's something called the Clean Power Plan. That is an EPA regulation that is going to require states to shift away from coal and to lower carbon sources like solar, wind power, but also a lot more natural gas in the way that big-scale utilities produce their energy. And that policy, which is in the very long process of going into a codified EPA regulation, is kind of the backbone of the plan that the United States is going to take to Paris later this month.
NPR Scott Detrow, thanks so much.
Thank you, Scott.
Give evolution a chance and humans may grow a third arm and eye. And look at our screens. People cross the street these days and never look up from their smartphones. Try talking to a teenager whose eyes don't wander to their tablet. Groups from churches to schools to gyms now hold digital cleanses for people who try to survive without screen time for a weekend or so. Tony Gonzalez of member station WPLN was on the scene. 42 Nashville students turned in their phones and when they got them back.
The clock is ticking for Maplewood High students Destiny Davis and Jemiah Whitman. They're about to give up their cell phones for 24 hours. They clutch them as they get mentally prepared. Davis says the good part will be talking to her family, and the bad part, kind of the same.
Because we always communicate on our phone. Like your family could be in the next room, we texting them, but now you got to get up and walk and go get them. So.
Then it gets real. Teacher Jared Amato gives their 5-minute warning.
Put up a picture on Instagram.
Their last Facebook updates and Snapchats for the next 24 hours.
Say goodbye. 5 minutes. 5 minutes and we're going to start to pick them up.
What? I said 5 minutes. She already can't go without her phone. How we gonna live? I need my phone.
The girls put their phones in Ziploc bags. Then it's time for the group to take a pledge about technology addiction.
We're spending more time communicating with our screens than with each other.
Single file, they stack their phones in a cardboard box. Some even kiss them goodbye. Yes, that student just said bye.